Alright everybody, let's get to another review. My notes weren't as great this time because I was trying to take stuff down and I didn't get everything I wanted to, get in, but I went over them and I think I pretty much got everything in them that needs to be talked about. So if I missed something, I'm sorry, but let's just get to it. So, Benny is trying to avoid being shot. He's behind a car and, the Malone's goons are shooting and Mitch shows up. He's like, hey, stop. This is off. The hit is off. At first they're trying not to stop, but Mitch, they know he's a Malone and he just, puts it out there, it's done. This is over. This is not happening. And so they go on and, that was it. So for that part, and so let's talk about Catherine and Hannah. So of course Hannah is still shaking up, so Catherine offers her a Valium, and we'll talk about later why that was probably not such a great idea for Catherine to do that. Hannah's reluctant to take it, and Catherine's like, well, you brought me pot when I was going through cancer treatment. And Hannah's like, well, yeah, that was different. And so Hannah goes on and takes the pill, and she did ask how many milligrams it was and all that, but she goes on and takes it because she really wants to calm down. So Catherine offers to stay, and Hannah says, no, Benny's coming home and Derek's gonna stay over, and Catherine's trying to make something out of that, and Hannah just shuts it down like, don't. But anyway, Catherine was really excited for Hannah because Hannah just says, okay, I like Derek. So Catherine is excited, but Hannah says, well, I saw him talking to Veronica, and Catherine just says, unfortunately, he knows her too. And so Catherine, she finishes up her conversation with Hannah, and Hannah wanted Derek to walk Catherine to her car, and so Derek does do that, and she talks to him about Veronica. She says, be careful of her. She's trying to figure out if there's something that he is not telling her, and she says, well, if you need any help, just tell me. Just let me know. Because you know how Veronica can be, and so that's why Catherine was telling him, if you need any help, just tell me. And so Benny shows up, and he's just being so extra. Derek is trying to, tell him, wait a minute, your mom is, he's basically saying your mom is shaking up if you come in there and you're too excited and all that. It's not good for her, but Benny's just being like so extra, and I can understand him being concerned about his mother and all that. But in the situation, Derek has actually been pretty helpful, and Benny could have toned it down a few notches. So they get in there, and Hannah tells Benny what happened, that it was somebody that knows Candace that broke into the house. They were demanding money and all of that, and and Benny, he still is being real ignorant towards Derek. He's like, Benny just doesn't want any man around Hannah, and it's good that he's concerned, but I think he was just being like doing too much in this episode. And so he eventually Hannah lets it out about gets around to talking about about the money, and Benny goes and he runs to check it out, and it's gone, and Mitch is like, oh no, and Benny's like, he's kind of freaking out, and Hannah wants to know, well, who did you borrow the money from? And Benny's like, I bought it from Mitch's family, and Mitch is trying to gloss over what his family's business is and all of that, and Benny is clearly acting like he's in trouble, and Hannah just starts laughing. She just from she's laughing. She's like, "You and your sister are always in some mess." And she always, you're doing stuff and and she just was not. She just, I guess, and the pill got to her, and it was funny because I think Hannah is just so fed up. I think her laughing was a combination of the pill and her just being fed up with all the mess, and all she could do was laugh. And of course, she wants to give that money back to the criers, and so Benny ends up calling Candace because he needs to know about that Malone money, that big stack of money that Candace had ended up with. He wants to know and who the guy was that took it and all that, and she's not being cooperative on the phone. She's like, "Oh, well, it's not the right time, it's too early," and all of that, and she just wasn't being cooperative. So at the hospital, of course, David is still hospitalized, and it finally gets out that Erica died. Jim didn't want to say it, but David's like, he finally just says she didn't make it. And David said, yeah. Jim said, yeah, she didn't make it. He said something like she was not as strong as you. And I said, well, it wasn't about being strong. It was the fact that she was on the passenger side and actually was in the car. David didn't actually get into the car. And he just got blown, and that's why it just ended up with burns and not end up, charred like Erica. Erica actually got in the car and got the whole whoosh of the bomb. And Jim actually is acting human in these past couple of episodes as far as David goes. So he acted human. So for once, we see a different side of Jim other than being real snarky. So outside the door, the nurse is talking to Jeffrey, and I can't remember what the guy said his name was. I missed it, but he starts saying, "You don't remember me? We went to grade school together," and he says, "Yeah, I remember you being bullied by that guy," and that he was talking about the guy that you remember. David talked about how Jeffrey ended up beating up this guy in school, this bully. So that was the guy that the nurse was talking about. And the nurse was saying, "I remember he called you every name in the book and all of that." And of course, it's kind of like you can tell that this guy likes Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's got just, he's had a few guys after him. There's been Landon, and of course Crazy Justin, and then we had the nurse, and then of course there's of course RK, which I don't think RK is really after him, but I don't know. RK is kind of weird, you can't really tell with him. So of course, Justin shows up, and he just is not having it. He sees that the guy gave Jeffrey his number, and he's like, "Who was that? Why did he give you his number? Blah 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 blah." And Jeffrey's like, "Oh, he gave it to me because we can." So it's about my dad. So basically, so he can get updates about his dad and all that. And that's, but obviously, the guy wanted to give Jeffrey his number for more reasons than that. So Jeffrey follows the nurse out, and I thought he was just going to go just snap. But he's taking a different course of action. He's like, "Do you know, Jeffrey, do you know that he's under investigation? Do you know he's under investigation?" And all of that, and then he asks for the nurse's number, so the nurse gives it to him, and I'm like, okay, so looks like he's taking a different course of action now. Instead of threatening people, looks like Justin might be trying to, use Jeffrey being under investigation against him to make people stay away from him, which is also a tactic that crazy people use. They try to alienate the person they're obsessed with. They try to alienate them from other people. So looks like he might be using that tactic now. So we get a little scene with Rocky and Broderick, and we haven't seen them in a long time. We haven't seen Broderick in much longer than we have seen Rocky. Last time we saw Rocky was in the hospital recovering from a beating. But basically, Broderick wants more money. Now Rocky's saying, okay, well, you know, we have this operation going, let's keep it going. It's going to take some time, but Broderick really wants to get over on Catherine and marry her and all that, and just, you know, get money like that. So anyway, that scene was kind of thrown in there. I didn't expect that, and it was sort of random because we hadn't seen those two characters in a while. So let's get over to Veronica's house. Now Veronica and RK, they're talking, and finally she just takes out this folder, and she has his record, and he's stolen from all these women. What a surprise. He robbed a man too. And Veronica, she wants to know. She wants information. She wants, what were you doing in the room with Jeffrey? I know you were in there. And he's like, well, no, I wasn't going to do anything with him. I wasn't going to do anything with him. I just wanted his watch. She's like, is that what you wanted from me? Did you want to get money from me? And he kind of plays it off. And Veronica, of course, she has a different angle. She's saying that she wants him to be Jeffrey's friend and all that. And he's like, well, no, my cover for that has been blown, so I can't do that. But some kind of way Veronica is going to use RK to do her dirty work. I don't know what else she's going to do, but she's not going to be able to use him as far as Jeffrey goes, because I think Jeffrey pretty much knows that he was up to, you know, good, just trying to steal and all that. And so over at the jail, Wyatt is in his cell, just writhing in pain and just in need of drugs. And so the Malone guy, their hitman, he's across from me, and takes a razor out of his mouth, and he walks up to Wyatt. But he stops when a guard is walks past and is looking. So he stops and he goes, you know, he's gonna wait on that. And so let's get to the ending. So Benny and Candace. So Benny, he just comes to Candace's room. He's not playing anymore, and he knocks at the door, and she opens it, and he's like, you know what happened with Mama? Somebody broke into her house. And she's like, really? She's just like not getting a care at all. And Benny's like, well, she says it. The guy knows you. She said he was looking for you. Who is he? Who is he? And she's just not caring at all. And Benny's not here for it. He's like, you know, somebody broke into Mama's house. You know, she could get hurt. You know, it's just, you know, this is not right. Benny was rightfully angry because Candace went way too far with this one. You know, you don't send somebody to threaten your mother and all of that. And he finally says it, you know, he finally finishes the rest of the story, what happened with that. And he says, she stabbed him, and she's like, what? And of course she's acting like she didn't know that, but we know she knows because she put him in the van and just incinerated him, you know, free cremation. So, you know, Benny, he's, let me look at my notes here. I'm sorry, when I look down, I'm looking at my notes. Benny thinks it was a trick, because one of Candace's tricks, because she won't tell him who the guy was, and he's like, I know it was. It was one of your tricks, wasn't it? It was one of your tricks, wasn't it? And she keeps saying, no, I don't know. And so he just says, you're getting out of this hotel. So he goes to pack up her stuff, and he ended up going into the drawer, and he finds the money, and he can tell that it is his money that he got from the Malones. He can tell, and there's blood on it, and he's like, "What is going on here? What did you do?" That's where it went off. So that was this week's episode. Wasn't a bad episode, but it was kind of mostly filler, not a lot of action, I should say, mostly dialogue, not a lot of action, not a lot of moving there. But I was glad that they had Benny find the money quickly instead of like dragging that out. I was glad about that part. So next week should be good, because I'm ready to see how Benny is going to deal with this, with Candace having set Hannah up to be, robbed, her house, set her up to have her house broken into and to be robbed and just attacked and all of that. And I want to see how this is going to play out, because Benny has been on Candace's side from episode 1, and he's defended her when Hannah has, gone on, her, I guess you could say her rants about Candace. He's defended her, and so it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts. So Candace might have lost her one ally. So we'll see you next week, and as always, like, comment below if you have something to say. Let me know what you think about the show, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.